If the subconscious is not convinced, then peace and manifestation will be hindered. So over the last few weeks, I feel I've gained a lot of clarity utilising this letting go technique. Clarity on subjects such as manifestation and attaining finally the level of peace on a more permanent basis. So I've been struggling with attaining the level of peace, and I put that down to the blockages of desire. So I wasn't appreciating the level of appreciation, the level of love enough. So weeks prior to coming across the letting go technique, where I wasn't in such a high state, I was in a lower state, which is apathy and anger, and residing in desire a lot longer than I am now. I've not really appreciated that the level that I'm at now is quite a high level. It's quite hard for a lot of people to attain. So I decided one day just to sit with it, just like David Hawkins himself in his book. He sit with some emotions for days on end until he reached higher levels and just accepted that this is the struggle that I have to put up with right now. I accepted this level of love and the good emotions that it brings, and also some of the manifestation that that level itself has brought as well. I sat with it and it manifested books that's helped me attain a level of peace. So as a side effect, in an indirect way, mainly the book by Byron Katie called Loving What Is, asking, is it true? Such things as, is it true? Should my boundaries never be broken? Is that true? Or is it absolutely true? And it's something that's a struggle for most people, boundaries being broken. But when you run it through Byron Katie's work, you start to see things in a complete different light. You tip things on the head, and you can start to see how that makes sense with David Hawkins' letting go work. So when you say to yourself, I've got boundaries, and I've mentioned in other videos, you can have these boundaries and you can push through with anger, and you can get there a little bit, you can get little successes, but there's a higher way, there's a better way. And I think Byron Katie's work is an embodiment of this better way. So I have these boundaries, I'd rather them not be broken. You come to the realisation that it's not absolutely true. It's true that I feel that they shouldn't be broken. It's true I can make progress if they're not broken. But is it absolutely true that it shouldn't be broken? When you run it through the mill, you realise that there's a higher state to be attained. And you say to yourself, it's absolutely true, and you sit with it. It's not something that comes immediately. It's a meditation within itself. Is it absolutely true that my boundaries shouldn't be broken? I come to the realisations with things such as boundaries that, no, it's not true. What? It's not true. But no, if my boundaries wasn't broken to the extent that it brought me to such a low state, then I wouldn't have sought this work. This work wouldn't have found me. I wouldn't have manifested this work. I wouldn't have manifested such a high state. So is it absolutely true that my boundaries shouldn't be broken? No. Is it absolutely true that this depressive state that I'm in is completely detrimental? Again, it's something you've got to sit with and come up with your own answers, and eventually you see that no, if it wasn't for such a lower state, then I wouldn't have come to the realisation that I have done and manifested the books and what I've needed to over the last few days and weeks. So I've come to the realisation that it's taken these lower states to manifest these high states, and now I'm in these high states, I'm manifesting a lot better, so we call it better things. Is absolutely true the better? Again, you can really work this to a crazy extent. What I've noticed working through these blockages has allowed me to get to high states and manifest, let's just call them better things for easement. So I started asking strange things now from these high states, as how am I able to make money without work itself? And strange things have happened where I've been dealing with people that's supposed to be sending me money. It's not come through. Then I've noticed that my banking, who I bank with, they've gone down over the last couple of days. So I've looked at it, I've scrolled at it, I've looked through, I've looked past, scrolled a few things, and I've noticed that in June, all these customers that are signed up to the bank that I'm signed up with, in the way that I'm signed up with them and the things that I've got going on within the bank, are eligible to, I think, £200 to receive £200 in June and July. And so this manifestation of how can I make money without work has come. So that's £200 without working, out of the blue. And it's come from nationwide crashing, and then me looking and scrolling through and seeing this, and it's come to fruition. Oh, there is a way, this is the way. And then you get on a boost and you think to yourself, well, this actually does work. But I would say it doesn't work until you've released the blockages of lower level. So if you sat there and you've got blockages and you say, I want to manifest this, I want to manifest that, and you sat with your affirmations, I don't think they entirely work, or they don't do you as much justice as they would do until you've released your blockages. So at my lower levels, I had a yearning to break free of these lower levels. That brought me to the books and the teachings that I've currently used. It's brought me to higher levels. It's brought me to now, let's say, higher things and a greater ability to manifest. So at these higher levels, I've been trying to manifest. So money coming in as one. But most important to me, the high level of peace, which is that I'm residing in more and more nowadays. But it took me embracing and ridding of the lower level blockages to attain these states. And now I feel I'm in a state of complete knowingness. So knowingness, I think David regards as a level of love, a high level of love, or more so the level of peace. So I'm in a state of knowingness that I can create and I can attract things to me that I want and what I need, so long as I let go of the blockage of desire. So on to Dandapani's work, Unwavering Focus by Dandapani. Happiness and mindfulness is a byproduct of your ability to concentrate and focus. He also goes into detail about how to utilise willpower. So if we take something that's quite an easy task or maybe mildly hard, but you've been procrastinating on, and you take it to completion, you naturally build your willpower. If you take it to completion and do a little bit extra, again, you're building your willpower a bit more. If you take it to exceeding expectations by quite a big gap, again, you're building your willpower even more. And that's the kind of task that Dandapani has you doing. Now, where this benefits the letting go and ties in with letting go is a lot of people struggle to attain these higher levels. But I think willingness, the ability to sit through willingness, accesses these higher levels by giving you that knowingness that you can complete tasks. And as a byproduct, you see that I am able, as I've said in previous videos, that I am able to sit through this disturbance that I'm feeling right now. It's essentially a willingness. And the more you're willing to sit through whatever it is you're going through and not act, not react, just to sit and eventually become calm and create a space for it, you will naturally access higher levels. Now this does it in a way that I'm completing tasks that I was finding for whatever reason hard to do before, but I've just gone with it and completed it. And within your mind now, you've got a knowingness that you can complete tasks. Now, if you've read the Letting Go book, love is the high levels of love is also described as a level of knowingness. So you go from thinkingness, desire, anger, to knowingness, knowing that things will be all right. The highest level of knowingness is peace, and then higher than that is enlightenment. So you cultivate your willpower and your ability to focus, and you naturally develop, as a byproduct, knowingness, which is love and peace. So you see how that works with Dandapani's work. You naturally bring yourself, if you struggle with the letting go technique in of itself, I sat with my desires and naturally created a level of peace, and that brought me to the book of Dandapani's work and also the book of Byron Katie, which told me and gave me the knowingness of, okay, I've got blockages. The blockages I utilise with Byron Katie's work to get me to the level of peace, and also I can use Dandapani's work and stay in the level of willingness to reach the level of knowingness and peace. So to conclude, we manifest according to the levels of consciousness we are at the time. So I mentioned a few weeks ago I was at lower levels of consciousness. I wanted out those levels, and so manifested the book of Letting Go, which progressively helps you out at the levels that you're at. the last couple of weeks I've struggled at the level of love, and I've noticed that the blockage that was occurring at the time was a blockage of desire. So I was still clinging on to a little bit of desire that I wanted to have peace. I sat through these levels of desire, and through this I attained peace, and through peace I attained books such as Byron Katie's Loving What Is and Dandapani's Focus. And through these books I've been experimenting with willingness wittingly, and also getting rid of some more blockages via Byron Katie's work. I've reached a level of knowingness, which is peace, or a strong level of love. And through here I've manifested things such as money. And I've realised now that I've manifested a level of peace, I've manifested money, and I've also manifested healthy eating habits. So I was in quite a strong binge phase over the last few weeks previous weeks before I came across the book of letting go. So I've manifested strong eating habits, healthy eating habits, money, and a high level of peace. So I'm in a strong level of knowingness right now. In the next video I shall talk about creativity and how I found this also as an easy gateway to peace.